Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're going to talk about a tier 7 you probably forgot about for the simple fact that it got removed entirely from the game. Only the people that managed to get it before it disappears still has it in their garage, and on top of that, Wargaming never sell it because it's not a premium, which means that you can't get it at all right now. And this tank is the KV-13, a variant of the T-43 that features a little bit more DPM and maybe less gun depression. The tank itself is not that bad because, all considered, the DPM is nearly 2.7 thousand damage, which is just huge for this tier, but of course it's counterbalanced by the fact that your penetration is definitely not among the greatest, with your regular only 144 millimeters of penetration, which means that when you're playing against tier 7 you are a literal god, as long as you don't get to play on hilly terrains. But when you play against tier 8, you gotta switch to gold shells all the time. It's a little bit frustrating and requires from you that you have a lot of money in your bank, but if it's the case, you should be fine and have some fun with it. For the other statistics, the tank goes fast because the top speed is 50 kilometers per hour, but you're gonna take some time to get there. To be fair, the speed overall of the tank seems a little bit bad in my opinion, but it's probably due to the fact that, unlike a T-43, this one is effectively armored. Usually, if people shoot at this plate here, they are gonna bounce, which is hilarious enough, specifically when it's coming from tier 8 tank destroyer. Now I think you understood, but what makes this tank great is the DPM. You can face off pretty much any single tier 8 premium tank or even regular tier 8 premium and win, as long as it's a 1 versus 1 situation. And as long as you don't do stupid things like rushing in and hoping that your DPM will outmatch them. Usually, when you do that, it's not gonna happen. But let's take a look at what we can do with this tank. Of course, something I forgot to show you in the statistics is the fact that this tank gun depression is really bad, which makes it really hard to play on slopes and hills. And unfortunately for me, on this map, if I want to play my medium correctly, I'm kind of forced to go to a hilly terrain. And you see that against that 3090, I can't do anything because it's impossible for me to get any shots. It's not going to stop me because, after all, it's only a 3090. So what we're going to do is that we're going to try to sneak as many shots as possible. It seems like the guy is a little bit too confident on his abilities to take me out. He snapped 2 shells in. One of them bounced, obviously, because I told you that you are armored, and now it's just over for him. On top of that, I'm using adrenaline, which makes me have more than 3000 DPM. There is literally no way that guy escapes. Of course, there's still T-5042, and I took some risks by going there because it seems like it attracted the T-43 too, but that's not a problem. Thanks to our DPM, we managed to track him down. Unfortunately, he's using his kit, and here you see the main problem with this tank, specifically about the penetration. We had the T-54E2 side armor, which is supposed to be some of the weakest armor in the game because it's based on the T-125, and this is one of the specs of the T-125, having really poor armor on the sides. And even with that, this guy managed to bounce my shell, which really gives you the feeling that if you don't switch to gold shells as soon as you see a heavy tier 8 tank, you are not going to be able to penetrate with this tank. Not a problem, let's keep going because we reload way faster than this boy. We sneak one, we know that he's still gonna reload as we are able to sneak 2 shots. We go in, we kill the guy, securing our 2 kills and 1.6k damage. And now it's only a matter of time before we deal with the rest. There's the Tiger. We sneak 1 shell that, unfortunately, and I don't know how, bounced. And we can just attack now. It's all about attacking. You have a good mobility. If people are not taking a look at you, you just go in, circle, peekaboo. Everything works pretty much with the KV-13, which makes it a nice tank to play with, as long as you're top tier. So, can we get the FV? And of course, we had to get an AFK FV and a T-49 licking his ass. Rip to us, we only did 2k damage. But to be fair, it's still quite good considering that nobody's playing the tank anymore, which means that if you want to grow your statistics, this is the tank to play with. On top of that, first class, which means that with the new economy system, we still made credits even knowing that it's not a premium. The second one is going to be a live battle because I thought it would be interesting to tell you my way of thinking during the game. So what we want to do first is analyzing where the teammates are going, and it seems like they decided to go on the left. It's definitely not the best site to go for when it comes to my tank, but You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt. I have 144 millimeters of penetration, which means that I'm not going to face them frontally, specifically if we see any of those on this part. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait here just to snap 1 or 2 shells if they try to cross. We're going to move after, but right now, if we do, it's not going to be in our favor. It feels like the Centurion can sneak some shots on me. Is he watching? Yeah, he's trying. Okay, if the Centurion is trying, maybe that I'm gonna have to move from there. Yeah. Okay, no, I'm not gonna stay here. As you can see, it's impossible for me to get any shots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to circle going on the other side. Let's try to sneak 1 shell on the Skoda before moving. And now we have to deal with a fucking Centurion that has the exact same idea. My gosh, I hate him. He's going to be my alter ego during the whole game. Okay, great. Centurion is not gonna move. He's just gonna stay here. God damn, why did you have to do that, Centurion? You just messed all of my strategy for this game. I'm kind of stuck now. We gotta move. Come on. Can we sneak 1 or 2 shells on the Centurion, maybe? If I switch to gold shell, yes, we can. Okay, snapping 1. Maybe in another one, if possible. Yes, we can. Let's go. We're gonna go again. I just love how you reload so fast with this tank. Okay, we managed to scare him, which means that now we can attack. As you can see, the KV-13 is not the kind of tank with which you're going to have 3k damage every single game. If you are top tier, yes, it's definitely going to be the case. But as these days Wargaming decided to merge servers, you're going to play with more tier 8 than ever. And it's definitely not going to be in your favor, because obviously if they need to fill in the blanks, you are going to be the tank chosen. Which kind of sucks, but you gotta adapt to this because you don't have the choice. Alright, now we go for the T-26E3 Eagle 7 that is probably going to die before we make it. Come on. Yes, we missed. How nice. And we finish off the game by doing literally nothing. And this is what awaits you when you're playing at tier 8. You are extremely team dependent, which means that if you do not have the possibility of rushing with your team, like it was my case at the beginning, because on the left side of the map I literally can't do anything, you are gonna get stuck with poor games like this. But it's also good to show you that not all games are bright and that sometimes you just have to accept your fate. To summarize, the KV-13 is a tank that got removed from the game, and that is not necessarily missed by anyone, because you will find several variants in the tech tree and in the shop that are better version overall of the tank. Even if I still like it because it's the good old school replay, I feel like it's not going to be a tank you're going to play regularly or anything like that, just from time to time to do videos like me, or just from time to time to remind you the pre-5.5 update where we had plants growing, tanks shining, different types of playstyle that got totally wiped out by Wargaming after the 5.5 update. But that's how it is, boys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. Tell me in the comments if you already own or not the KV-13. This way I will know if I have many OGs watching me or not. See ya.